A friend reminded me of a conversation that we had not too long ago, maybe a couple months ago, about how something, a concept that we share and we hold really dear, is kind of a refutation of what the wellness at large industry has taken on, this persona. It's taken on this kind of attitude of affluence, of a lifestyle, of, sipping tea that's been imported from, like an East Indian island, while getting your vagina steamed and getting like water dropped on your head that comes from the Himalayas, and that being like the equivalent of your spiritual experience. And what that brings up for me, not only are those things like not grounded in the here and now, and they're not practical solutions, and that's always what I gravitate to, especially since everything, body of truth. I really feel that if it doesn't come through your body, it's not going to stick or resonate truly. But it also smacks to me, and I guess this is my judgment, that it almost feels like the medieval times of indulgence, where if you were able to pay, you were able to be absolved of more sins. So if you're able to pay, you are able to advance yourself spiritually. So that's one concept that we kind of like went back and forth, and a little petty came out, and there was some, ripping apart of things. But the other thing is, where I find wellness resides is it doesn't matter where you enter, right? You can enter from a place of feeling physically unwell. You can enter from a place of feeling emotionally unbalanced or spiritually hungry. And I would offer that no matter which door you enter through, all of the concepts and constructs are required to make those deep changes. And so, one of the things that my partner and I are working on is a container in which to do this. And what I would offer is that it is all about regeneration and remembering. So, whether you are post COVID, post vaccine, post booster, and you're entering from a place of physical ailment or manifestation, whether it is something that's in you that maybe you've been able to suppress before, but it keeps coming up stronger and stronger, because I really feel like the veil that we were able to hide things behind is just so thin, if not gone completely. So those things are just going to keep popping up. And if you refuse to learn the lesson, they're going to become more and more dramatic and start to smack you around a bit. And the idea of allowing yourself to embrace something bigger than yourself, allowing source energy to penetrate you, and really submitting to that experience. If you do not have all three, you will not reach the real level of, I'm going to use the word wellness, but the real level of true health that you could. So what I invite you to do today is to look inside, take a kind of a scan of your body, and the scan of your body's energy if you like, but see, out of those kind of things I've just suggested, where do you think that your entry point would be if you feel the need to heal? And maybe you don't have a specific ailment, but you just feel like something's off. So again, if you've got a specific ailment, entering from the physical paradigm is pretty identifiable, right? If you've got something that just keeps coming up for you again and again in your relationships, and it's a stumbling block, or it's something that obviously you're being drawn to pay attention to again and again, that could be your entry point. Or the hunger, the soulful hunger that you felt to do something big. Because I feel like if you've gotten that invitation somewhere throughout your life and you're beginning to hear it, now is the time. So again, I ask you to discover where you think that your entry point would be. Your entry point to living an elevated life. I just stopped myself. Did you see that? So I was going to say a supernatural life. But that's not what I mean. I'm going to correct and explain. When I say supernatural life, what I mean is returning, regenerating, but remembering and returning to our natural state. And our natural state is elevated. So, yes, supernatural. Yup, supernatural. The nature of ourselves in a superlative state. And I cannot wait to issue that invitation. It's coming soon. But until then, today, let's look at where your entry point would be. If you can identify that, that's amazing. Most people just know that something's wrong. Obviously, if it's a physical manifestation, sometimes it's a little easier to identify. But see two things. See where your entry point would be and ask yourself, are you where you want to be? Or are you called to elevate? And I will see you tomorrow.